ourselves too hard for no reason. Number one, the justification that the minister has given is real. We have so many manufacturers of water. The rate that has been existing is 10% across the board. But you have those who have been under declaring. Now, if you take an example of a bottle of water, a 1 liter bottle of water, how much is it? 1,000. 2,000. So if you calculate 10% on 2,000, how much is that? 200. That's what they have been paying. So the alternative we are putting of the fixed, of the 75% is that if you, 75 shillings, that if you under declare and you don't want to pay that 200, then the 75 will do what? So 75 is not going to make it more expensive in reality. So let us, members,
you're finished.
I am trying to make it very easy. If you look at the current price of water, this rate we are introducing is not going to make it more expensive. Instead, you are trying to level the ground so that there is increased compliance in the sector and you protect the revenue.
Next item. The next item is on Waraji. We have finished water.
No.
We have finished water. We shall go to committee.
Water.
Let's now, anybody who is raising something should say it on Waraji.
Water.
Osoru. Honorable members. Yes.
I want to, Right Honorable Chair, Speaker, I want to move.
Honorable Chair.
I want to move a motion that we move to the committee stage, having exhaustively discussed these proposals.
Is it seconded? Seconded by OO, Rose, Edie, Faith, Guardian, Amero, Linda, Musa, Mbwa, Gerald, and my seconder, and Maggie, even Mujuche. Thank you so much. AG and Olanya. I put a question that the Exercise Duty Amendment Bill 2023 be read for the second time. Those in favor say and the control nay. The ayes have it.
The Excise Duty Amendment Bill. Bills Committee.
Honorable members, sit.
Clause 1.
I put a question that clause 1 stands part of the bill. Those in favor say and the control nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 2.
I put a question that clause 2 stands part of the bill. Those in favor say and the control nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 3.
Chair.
Madam Chair, on clause 3, we have an amendment. And in A, we are saying we delete paragraph A. B, in paragraph C, by substituting for item D the following. I'll go to the other side. It is 12% or shillings 230 per liter, whichever is higher. So we maintain as it is in the Principal Act right now. And then C, in paragraph F, by substituting for item 26 the following. Construction materials of a manufacturer other than a manufacturer referred to in item 21, whose investment capital is at $50 million in the case of a foreigner, or $1 million United States dollars in the case of a citizen, or 35 million United States dollar in the case of a partnership of a citizen and a foreigner where the citizen has the majority shareholding. Justification. The justification is to offer protection to the local manufacturers utilizing local raw materials.
Honorable Chivombi?
I agree with the rest of those amendments, except is that's where I want to move in sub 3, section C, part 1, to say 60%, 1,500.
Minister?
Madam Chair, I want to begin by raising a procedural matter here. I thought that we would go item by item and we exhaustively deal with it. She went kind of omnibus on the various amendments, which makes it quite complicated because we have to juggle through complicated provisions in the Principal Act,
Who went,
etc.
who went
So-
on minibus? The chair?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. Now, with regard to clause 3, item A, we want to concede on the amendment by deleting paragraph A.
Now, the procedure, I think, unless you have a lot of time, Honorable, with due respect to the minister, where the chair is moving like omnibus, is that these were really canvassed positions and agreed to by Attorney General in a meeting, and therefore you to now draw back us to take back to the real arguments that lasted hours.
So
would
the
be-
issue on contention is C,
It's only C,
only C.
because the other one on water is an insertion, will come later.
Chair, Honorable Minister, it is on C.
Yeah, Madam Chair, in paragraph C, by substituting for the item D, the committee, we sat and agreed that we retain what is already in the bill. And they conceded. Now, relating to paragraph F, by substituting for item 26, and they have provided the narrative, we clarified to the chair that what they added was actually at the end of that item. They are referring to a partnership of citizen and foreigner, where the citizen has majority shareholding. Now, the application of this provision is actually on the goods and not on the nature of the business. So they agreed that the amendment was actually superfluous. So we agreed to retain what was already there. And what was already there is the narrative they have written up to dollars, United States dollars. So therefore we agreed to retain what we have in the bill.
Are you in agreement with the minority on C?
See, I need to be reminded on that. Paragraph 6.
Honorable Chivumbi, just read for
With due
it for the
respect.
minister.
Paragraph C is on any other undenatured spirit. One is that are locally produced of alcohol strength by volume of less than 80% or, and then the 80% or 1,700, we are only proposing to say 60% and 1,500.
He's proposing to reduce the taxes on
What I'm very surprised that this is coming from a Haji.
Maybe,
Yeah, well, largely what we are doing here, this is what we regard as sinful tax. And these are the areas where we get a lot of revenue.
Basalira has a procedure matter.
Right, Honourable Speaker, my view is that the position raised by Honourable Mwanga Kivumbi and the committee should be harmonized on the higher side.
On the higher side.
On the higher side. That's my view.
Thank you. And
Yes, beyond 80, on the higher side, that's my view.
so you're with the committee. Yes. Honorable members, I put a question that you see, Honorable Basalira was here whispering to me that that thing makes men impotent. Honorable members, I put a question that clause 3 be amended as proposed by the committee. Those in favor say the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 3 as amended.
I put a question that clause 3 stands part of the bill. Those in favor say the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
I thought there was supposed to be a
On what? We've taken your position as a committee.
You have been sleeping there.
We've taken your position. We've taken your position as a committee. Basaliro has helped you.
New clause.
New clause. By the way, we dropped the clause on banking.
Yeah. So I go to the one of.
I put a question that we drop a clause 4B on banking. Those in favor say aye, to the contrary nay. The ayes have it. We shall not allow that.
We have the new insertion on mineral water, bottled water and other water purposely for drinking. And we are amending to say 10% or 75 shillings per liter, whichever is higher. Justification to introduce a specific rate per liter of production on mineral water, bottled water and other water for drinking purposely, and create uniformity in the industry.
Chair.
What?
Chair,
Chair.
that's
There is a proposal, either it is 10% or
Chair.
75
Chair,
75.
shillings.
Chair.
Madam Chair.
Oh, and Honorable Chivumbi is saying we maintain it at what?
10%.
10%.
Chair, much as I respect the expertise of on these matters is senior. And I always respect people who are deep in the sector. In a committee, our understanding is not exactly what Kates was explaining. And our perspective was, and we asked for empirical evidence. You see, where government failed on most of this for lack of supporting data, for lack of research, because it was just rationalization. They rationalized things. You said, what's the impact? Because they were telling us that the margins on water are higher, that even if we impose the 75, it will not change. We ask them, give us the evidence. Our suspicion and our understanding, not exactly the way you understood it, was it will lead to an increment in the price of water. The manufacturers will pass it over to a consumer. For clarity, if they want, they raise the percentage. Then the rest is why under declaration of water is the question of administration, capacity building, and URA should wake up and play its own part on enforcing the law, not the question of manipulating a tax and the legislation into capability and the question of capacity of an agency.
Honorable Chivumbi, can you have a look at this? This is what they are giving me as the analysis that was made, and I'm asking, why didn't they share it? Why did they not take it? Yes,
Honorable Chivumbi, it's unfortunate that this matter maybe was not explained properly in the committee by Minister of Finance. No, he has explained. Like I have mentioned, you are providing either 10% or 75, whichever is higher. That rate already exists on certain items like whiskey, wines, and the whole purpose is to bring fairness in the market and also deal with the problem of under declaration. So the people who are making water and issuing, yes.
Very simple. If a bottle of water is 1,000 and it's 10%, it is 100, and the liter is 75. So at 1,000 per liter, and you want to charge 75, is lower. What we are saying, whatever is higher. So in any provision you will put most likely you are going to get 10% on the normal average. You all know the cost of water is not going below that margin. I know what you are saying is that manufacturers, okay, at a factory price will under declare the cost of their water, much as the market will say it is 100 and the sellers will tell it. But I'm saying that's the question of capacity.
Right, Chair, I think I would agree on if you raise the issue of capacity, and we can task the minister to look at issues of capacity of strengthening the tax administration. But here we are doing with legislation. We are dealing with introducing 10% already exists. Yes. And like I have mentioned, if the bottle is at 1,000, 10% is 100. So if someone is under declaring 1,000, say 200, and he calculates 10% and puts 20, we are saying that it will either be 75% or 20, whichever is higher. So the provision is not going to increase the cost of water, and we should support it to create a level playing field in the market.
Emat. Honorable members, who are those who are saying that it should remain at 10%?
Yes.
10% is time. Who are those who are saying it should remain at 10%? And they don't clap here. You are not in the forest. And who are those who are saying it should be 10% or 75 shillings?
Madam Chair.
Whichever is higher.
Madam Chair.
No, this time I'm going to count. I want to get a honorable members. Honorable members, can you keep quiet? Now the 75 shillings. It is either 100 shillings or 75 shillings, whichever is higher, or it is 100 shillings permanent. You don't change. You get it, eh? Who are those? Now sit back. Who are those who are saying we want 100 shillings without any change? And who are those who are saying want 100 shillings? 10%. I don't know why you're making a noise. Who are those who want us to maintain the law as it was? Remember, when you bring 75 is lower. And they are saying whichever is.
Chair, it is not lower. It is not lower.
Clarification.
Thank you.
Yes.
Clarification.
Right,
I-
Honorable Speaker.
You,
Chair,
Clarification, Chair.
yes,
Chair.
there's a clarification from
Yes,
oh.
clarification. Thank you. Thank you. Right, Honorable Chair.
Chair. Oh, 100. They are going to manipulate 75. Don't manipulate.
Oh.
Thank you, Right Honorable Chair. A tax collector
That's there. They don't have to do like that.
Honorable members, I don't want you to contribute to confuse the 75 as percent. It is per shilling. It is a shilling per bottle, per liter. You get it, eh? As compared to the 100. Honorable, yes, Honorable oh.
I think this is Right Honorable Chair. This needs to be very, very clarified. I think we are mixing the issue here. The current position is at 10%.
Yes.
And now the tax collector, just like any judicial officer, something relating to the public may need that latitude. If you fix it as 10%, you are likely to cause unfairness.
Yes.
If you put it with a latitude with an alternative, whichever you take, whichever is higher, 75 shillings is definitely lower than the 10%. And now for them, a tax collector should be given that latitude to determine whichever is higher. I think it would only be proper, it would only be fair that given the explanation here, 75 shillings is fair to have it a ground.
Honorable members, why don't you have respect for somebody holding the floor?
The information that I had him was telling me before is that the water,
You see, Honorable Chivumi himself has understood it.
our people take that water of 500 shillings. But here we are talking about 1 liter, I think so.
Yes, we are talking
So
about
the
a liter.
liter applies to, 10% applies even for the lower
Yes.
liter. So 500 liters, 0.5 liters would be a half of that. So I think this is the most fair and moderate way to legislate. You provide 10% or 75 shillings for those who would be running away from paying tax. Or the tax collector determines. It is only fair that we agree with this position.
Yes, Hayat.
Thank you so much, Right Honorable Chair. In support of the current position, 10% or 75, whichever is higher. The bottle you're looking at is 500 shillings, but it's half liter. A full liter bottle is actually 750 shillings. So the current 10% actually is the 75 currently. Now the framers, the proposal presupposes that at one time tea may be, the price might go down to 400. Suppose it goes down, then the 75 will stand. So it is actually okay, perfectly okay for us to go for 10% or 75, whichever is higher.
I put a question that the proposed new clause stands part of the bill. Those in favor say on the contrary, nay. The ayes have it.
Title,
Title, I put a question that the title stands part. I put a question that the title stands part of the bill. Those in favor say on the contrary, nay. The ayes have it.
motion for resumption of the House.
Honorable Minister.
Madam Chair, I beg to move that the House do resume and the committee of the whole House reports there too.
I put a question that the committee does resume and the committee of the whole house reports there too. Those in favor say on the contrary, nay. The ayes have it.
Report of the Committee of the Whole House.
Honorable Minister.
I beg to report, Madam Speaker, that the committee considered the Excise Duty Amendment Bill 2023 and made some amendments, particularly on clause 3, covering the schedule, and an insertion relating to the tax on water.
And deleting the tax on transactions.
And deleting the proposal on tax on transactions, financial transactions.
Thank you.
Motion for adoption of the report of the Committee of the Whole House.
Honorable Minister.
I beg to move that the House adopts the report of the Committee of the Whole House.
I put a question that the House adopts the report of the Committee of the Whole House. Those in favor say on the contrary, nay. The ayes have it.
Bill's third reading, the Excise Duty Amendment Bill 2023.